lots of Marines here. If he gets vision on these Banshees, he can easily shoot them down. No trouble at all for him. But he has no detection. All he has is this orbital command with no energy. So as long as those Banshees are cloaked, he can't do anything. But Inuh, not knowing the difference, is retreating because there is no detection. So they're both complaining about lag, and it looks like they're going to kick out the caster of this game, which I believe this is an ESL game. So they've already kicked out the admin. So it looks like he's just building a lot more Marines at the moment, and he is going to float this off, and he's going to trade that to a starport, which is a very good choice because now he can produce Vikings out of there and counter this Banshee threat, especially with this Raven here, which that kind of negates anything that the Banshees can do as far as cloaking and taking out Marines. As long as he can keep that Banshee alive and keep Inuh from making Vikings, which could counter that, but with the Marine cover, it kind of wouldn't be that good. So he's cloaking now, and he's heading in. It looks like he's going to go for SCVs. Looks like he's going to take out maybe 1 or 2 of them, not that much damage, and it looks like he's going to be countered by Marines, taking out 1 Marine, taking out 2 Marines now, but still not doing that much, and it looks like he's just kind of sitting there picking off Marines. But MouzMarrow can see him with that Raven, and he's just letting him pick off Marines, which is a very bad decision because he could be using that. He could be using that to take a good advantage right now and take out this early harassment. But he's just letting his Marines be just dissolved, and eventually it's going to reach pretty much critical mass where Inuh has a larger force and he's able to just push right in. And it looks like a lot of Marines inside the work. It was kind of camouflaged in there, and taking out that Banshee that Inuh just flew right over there. And MouzMarrow also has his factory out here, and it looks like he's going to be hit by this bunker, and it looks like he's sitting out right now to block the expansion of Inuh because he knows that Inuh needs that. He sees this command center right here, and he's just going to fly right by it and land there, blocking that. But siege tanks and Marines could take that out fairly quickly with almost no resistance. Lots of bunkers going down. It looks like he's going to try and contain his base and protect it well while he continues to advance his units, because MouzMarrow is building a very offensive forces. This isn't really a good defensive force right here, especially because he has no siege tanks, and all he's got for air-to-air is this this Viking here. Not a good harassment force. It looks like this is a good just final blow, just kill them and win the game type force. And it looks like MouzMarrow's going to activate that ferry pull again. And it looks like an SCV is going to scout these guys, which are very pivotal for Inuh. He's going to see this force moving towards him, and he's going to see those units being loaded in the dropship. So now he does have a few Marines here, which it looks like he's not going to read into that. He didn't pick up on those units being put into the dropships, and they're going to be able to fly right in here. Marines providing fire onto these dropships. Looks like 3 Marines are going to key up onto them and dropping units all over Marauders inside the base now. This could be very bad for Inuh. It could totally interrupt his economy, and it looks like he's going to go straight for this tech lab, kind of setting back his starport and his Banshee production. And it looks like he's also going after a lot of supply, which now 62 out of 70 supply. 62, he's even with supply now, so he could be stopping in his production temporarily, which it looks like a lot of these units are taking hits. A lot of these units are going down, and now the medevac dropships are down. It looks like it's just Marauders, and these siege tanks have been picking them apart, but he moved in with a lot of SCVs, and he did lose a lot of SCVs if you were watching this units tab. MouzMarrow does have an extremely significant lead in SCVs. 17 SCVs up, even though he's running 1 base. It's very important. And the harass also down here now, dropping a turret from his Raven right next to the siege tank. I don't know why he just doesn't unsiege that tank. It looks like it's because he had the Marine support coming in, and he was repairing it quite quickly. So now it looks like MouzMarrow's force is down to pretty much nothing. Only a few Marauders and 2 Marines there. He has pretty much no anti-air capabilities except for that 1 Viking and the 2 Marines, which a few Banshees could easily wipe them off the map. And he is going for his expansion. Kind of a odd timing for that, especially given that he is at an extreme military disadvantage right now, and Inuh does have an extreme advantage if he decides to push that attack, which it looks like his strategy for now is just kind of to defend his base and get these siege tanks here and block from this biological ground mass attack, which those siege tanks are so amazing at blocking. And MouzMarrow not really editing his build much. It looks like he's just going to keep pushing that biological build, which I really do not recommend. I think he kind of needs to get something maybe in the air. Something that could be very good at this moment is Banshees to come in here, especially cloaked. There's not very much detection, and the Marines would pick them apart, but they would be able to do some significant damage to tanks, sneaking in cloaked. There's not really much he can do right now except for try and go for an economic advantage, which he is going for it, and he does have a 20 worker lead, which is very, very, very important right now. And it looks like he is pulling in 600 more minerals and about 300 more gas, 360 more gas just about, which that's a huge difference. And he is going for this high yield right now. So MouzMarrow could be pulling off a win right now, especially, this is especially surprising after his early game where he was extremely disadvantaged. And Inuh, for some reason, he's scared to push this attack. He's just trying to build up inside of his base, and that's not going to be good. If he turtles up, it's just going to be an expansion war between him and MouzMarrow, and MouzMarrow's just going to expand all over this map. And looks like MouzMarrow now with siege tanks of his own, which that can be very good against ground units like these Marines that kind of push forward, and they can be good at countering other siege tanks, because if he can siege up and then make Inuh push the attack, that can be very powerful for taking out those siege tanks early before they get siege, before they can do damage to his own force. So it looks like his saturation is down a little bit here, and he may be sending them out here very quickly. Looks like this is going to be done very soon, and he's already got 2 refineries coming out. Great macro. His early game macro was less than would be desired, but he's doing very good now, and he may pull this one off due to Inuh's inability, I would say, to push the attack and to go for the win. And it looks like he's going to salvage all these bunkers right here, just going for the money right now. And forces moving out now, lots of them, lots of Marauders, a few Marines to supplement, and a lot of siege tanks mostly, which he doesn't have that much as for air defenses, but he does have enough siege tanks, enough Marauders, and enough medevacs especially to either go for a drop inside of Inuh's base, or just supply a lot of health to these units on the ground. And he's got a lot more Marauders supplementing this. And it looks like there's going to be a push from Inuh, and Inuh does have a significantly larger force, and he's falling back, and this one siege tank left up front is going to be hit, and it's going to be able to get a few volleys off, taking out a lot of Marauders. And he's now kind of just moving around, lots of SCVs, and that siege tank did go down, but that siege tank loss was a positive thing for Inuh, I'd say, because Inuh did take out a lot of those Marauders. So it looks like he's moving back now. He's got a lot of units here, especially with all these SCVs encapsulated in this force, and he's sieging up right now. He's got this one siege tank just drifting around the edge. So, very weird. And it looks like he's going to go for a drop, which drops are very effective if he flies over these siege tanks, especially with this ill-advised anti-air. He could just drop right here and do a lot of damage to the siege tanks, even though they're supported by the Marauders. And it looks like he's walking around the edge now, and it looks like a lot of forces are actually going to coincide and head right towards them, and it looks like he's going to see them on this center tower, and he's going right to the dropships, doing some damage to the dropships. One Marine dropped, delaying all these forces, and that's going to give Inuh a great micro advantage, great micro decision there. And he's going to head right in, and MouzMarrow now loading a bunch of units up into these dropships to counter, but not enough. He does have a siege tank here, and if he can use that siege tank, he can kind of prevent this, which Inuh needs to get over there and kill that siege tank now. Lots of Marauders just spawning in the base from these barracks, and it looks like those Marauders are going to be able to contain those Marines very well. Marauders are pretty much the king of biological infantry, and they'll be able to take a lot. Which it looks like now he's going to push the attack in, and now pushing those siege tanks, but not sieging them, and he's getting damaged very heavily by these siege tanks, taking a loss due to bad micro there, and he's sieging them at this point when the Marauders have pushed up. Very bad decision, very bad micro there, even though his micro with the dropships was good. And now just sitting over there, I'm not sure why he's not dropping a point defense. Looks like he's out of energy, actually. And a couple Marines now moving up to push those units back. And MouzMarrow now with this extreme economic advantage up here, and he can take the win due to his amazing gas income compared to Inuh's. Let's take a look at units. And it looks like, wow, that's a lot of barracks. Bringing in 4 more racks, 6 more racks, 7, or that's actually a factory. And his production's amazing at the moment. He's producing a lot of units from his main base. And look at all this movement on the map, all this blue just moving around. That can kind of give you the scope, or you can just look up here. And he does have a worker advantage of about 30 units, which is absolutely massive. And that is what will decide this game if he does come out for the win. So it looks like he's got turrets, but not enough to block the drops. He just got this alley that he can just slide up into right here and drop his units with no resistance. And it looks like GG from Inuh, realizing that he's lost the economic game, and he's lost the game, especially against all these units right here and this drop. So thank you guys for watching. I'm in AP classes, so I've got a lot of homework. I'll try and get these out on the weekends. And make sure you check out ArcliteTank.com, especially when we get some more longer commentaries out, and they will be uploaded as one-parters. So good night, guys.